Jason and his wife and 2 kids arrived last night at 3:30 in the morning, and he made every effort to be here for us today, and that's the kind of person he is. And before we got in the intros and the questions, I just want to know that's the quality of individuals you are, and I appreciate that, Jason. Jason turned professional in 1998 after leading Pepperdine to the 1997 NCAA championships. He was also on the 1997 Walker Cup team. He has 7 career web.com victories, including being the only player to win 3 consecutive starts. This accomplishment in 2005 got him an immediate battlefield promotion on the PGA Tour, where in his 4th start, he went on to win the 84 Lumber that year. Many of us also remember that same season, he shot 71-67 in the first 2 rounds of the U.S. Open to be the leader. He also teed off in the final group on Sunday with Retief Goosen. His last win on the web.com tour was in 2010 in Miami at the Miccosukee Championship. He and his wife Megan of 9 years also have 2 kids, Jackson and Olivia, and live in Valencia, California. Jason, talk a little bit about Scott Stallings. Is obviously a fan favorite of ours. He's a local boy. He's done real well. You played in the group behind him yesterday. He shot 24 under. I believe he shot a course record. You played the exact same golf course. Talk a little bit about yesterday, how it felt for you, and give us a little bit on Scott's round, because how special that really was.
Well, his the golf course he played was much easier than the one I played. That's he played great. I mean, he has the ability to get hotter than anyone, or as anyone, but played right in front of him. And on Saturday, well, I guess it would be Saturday, which would have been Sunday morning, but you just turn around, you look up at the leaderboard, and it's like, what did you do? How did you get there? You know, you just kept making birdie after birdie after birdie, and it was. I wish I could say it was fun to watch, except it was kind of painful. But no, he's now won twice, so obviously he's a multiple winner. I don't know what else to say. He's a great player.
All right, we got me. Take us back to 2005. You were out on the nationwide tour. You qualified for the U.S. Open, and all of a sudden you go home on Friday night after playing 2 great rounds. Give us a little bit of your thought process on, here I am at the U.S. Open and playing well. What was that feeling like?
I can't really tell you what I was thinking in front of, and keep it clean. I know there's kids here, but I don't know what I was really thinking. I had played bad. It was pretty much dead broke. Staying in a hotel we couldn't afford, and I ended up making the cut and leading the Open just by pure dumb luck. But it was a great week. I was just thinking that, heck, I'm going to make something this week, and I really wasn't even thinking anything about what, the possibility of raising a trophy, which is probably a good thing. I just didn't really think too much about what the heck was about to happen to me, and kind of just went out and played the next day with KJ Choi and pretty much beat his brain in that day. That was fun, which hasn't happened since. But
all right, well, give us a sense for what it's like to go to bed on Saturday night knowing that you're going to play in the final group of the U.S. Open, and what your thoughts were then.
I don't know. You tell me. I didn't sleep that night. It was really weird to turn on SportsCenter and see yourself on there so much. Like, I was the lead story on SportsCenter, and that was pretty weird. And the funny thing was that my phone broke on Thursday. I had like one of those, remember those old Trios? My son had dropped it and cracked the screen, so I couldn't get any messages, nothing. The phone barely worked, which was awesome. But that was the weird part, was going to bed, listening to SportsCenter, and then Jason Gore. I was like, oh crap, here we go. I already hate me. But it was weird. Like, I just went down to get gas, and all of a sudden everybody's high fiving as you just walk. I'm just buying gas. But I really didn't think much. I thought a little bit about it, but I was trying not to. I was just trying to go out and play golf the next day. I knew that I was about to get absolutely blindsided, and I was going to enjoy it. I was going to take in whatever was going to happen, and just know that no matter what I'd ever see again, even if I was in the last group of a major, I'd been there before. So I think that really helped me coming down like the next, I don't know, the following weeks of playing well out here and winning on tour. So.
Yeah, you had an interesting little footnote. Your car got broke into that week. Give us a little story, that little story.
Well, my car was actually here. Well, I'm trying to think of where we were trying to figure this out last night, but James O had my car here. So we flew from Chicago here. I was driving on Sunday night from Knoxville to Pinehurst. And we stopped, it was like 2 in the morning, and my wife hates driving at night. And we were in, I don't know, I think Noah was halfway through his arc, the rainstorm that we were driving through. And we stopped in Asheville, North Carolina. She goes, just leave my stuff, just grab whatever you need. My caddy was driving from Chicago to Pinehurst, so he took all my golf stuff. So I just grabbed my bag. I grabbed mine and Jackson's bag, who was our only kid at the time. Walked into the hotel room. 4 hours later, she goes, I'm going to go get something. I got to go get my bag out of the car. Nothing in the car. Gutted. And the only thing they left was the car seat. So, at least they were crooks with a heart. But they had ripped out the stereo, cut the air conditioning wires. It was awful. So now we're driving with an 8-month-old through North Carolina in June with no air conditioning. And my wife's like, keep the wind off the baby. It's like this much. I'm like, nose is hanging out the window, just something. But yeah, so and the worst part was the guy cut himself, or the person cut himself, and there was blood everywhere in the car, and it was just gross. And of course, I was the one who had to clean it up. Not like we could take it to a car wash or something. She's like, clean it up. But yes, dear. So yeah, unfortunate for her. She had lost everything. I just remember her coming into the room and just being hysterical. Like, at that point, you just feel violated. The stuff can be replaced. Nobody was hurt, but it's just like, why do you got to do that? It's just a weird feeling.
After that, you went on an incredible run on the nationwide tour. You won the next 3 starts you played out there, including in Omaha when you shot 59. Give the audience a little bit about what you were feeling, how hot you were, and what it was like to shoot 59 that day.
If I knew that answer, Patrick, I wouldn't be sitting here. I think it was at the point where I didn't think anybody could beat me. Matter of fact, it's not that I didn't think, I knew nobody could beat me. It was a pretty good feeling. Plus, I was making everything I was looking at. Every putt I hit was going right in the middle. And even when it didn't, it wasn't my fault. They'd hit something on the green and just walk up on the next hole and make it. But it was fun, just stepping up over a 20-footer on the last hole and making it to shoot 59. That was cool. And knowing I was going to make it, that was the best part. But yeah, it was just at that point, I just thought no matter how I played or what I shot, the trophy was going through me. It's a pretty good feeling.
All right, we've had a considerable amount of success on both tours. You have career earnings of more than $5 million. A lot of people don't understand the quality of play on the web.com tour and the PGA tour. Kind of give the audience a little idea of the difference or similarity, whichever way you want to go.
Well, I think the current champions on the PGA tour are pretty much proving how good the web.com tour is. It's you see more and more guys coming out of here and winning immediately. I remember being the old grizzled veteran, telling Keegan Bradley after I won at Mikasuka, I was playing in the final group with him, like, hey, buddy, just hang in there. You're going to do great on tour. Guys now got a major. There we go.
Talk a little bit about the importance of this tour, both for young kids like Wes coming up and for others that may not have retained their card in certain circumstances, and how important it is to have this tour available to everybody.
It's hugely important. I think you can take kids who come out and they play in college, and all these kids now are great, but there's more to playing great than there's more to being a professional golfer than just playing great. You have to learn how to travel, sleep in a different bed every week, and play 4 rounds with a caddy, which we call walking pull carts. But there's a lot to it. There's a lot to playing different golf courses every day. You can take a kid, go out and shoot 68 on his home course every day, but is that good enough to be a professional golfer? You never know. If you can take him someplace blind and play well, then yeah, but there's just so much more to being a professional than knowing how to hit golf shots. Not much more, but it definitely helps develop players. And I think the kids coming out on the PGA Tour are proving that, how good they are and how well they're prepared and how they come out right away and win golf tournaments.
Your thoughts on the recent restructure of the PGA and Web.com tours, and now moving forward after this year, your only route to get to the PGA Tour is going to come through the Web.com tour.
I think it's phenomenal for this tour. I think this tour has been underrated for far too long. I still, I'll probably get bashed for saying this, but I still think it's the second best tour in the world from top to bottom. I think Europe's got great players on the top, but I think straight through the whole lineup, I think we're way better, to be honest with you, and I'll probably take a lot of heat for that. I'm not saying that. I just believe in this tour. I think there's a lot of good players, and I think it's proving. But I think this 3-week qualifying, I guess I can't call it Q school anymore, can I? It's going to be great. I think it's going to be a blast. I think the better players, it's basically turned into 3 weeks for qualifying school finals. So now we got 12 rounds of golf instead of 6 over a 3-week span. I think it's definitely going to favor the better players, and you're going to get stronger players coming out.
All right, awesome. Growing up, did you ever cross paths with a guy named Tiger Woods in junior golf? Or
who?
Tiger. Eldrick Woods, rather.
Eldrick, yeah, I knew him as Eldrick. Yeah, grew up a little bit with him. We were since 12 years old. We were roommates and stuff like that at Cannon Cup, and I was a way off on him. I thought he'd burn out, but goes to show you what I know. But yeah, no, played a bunch with him. He was the guy back then too.
Well, as a junior, did you know that? I mean, did he strike fear, for lack of a better word? I mean, did he tee it up every week, and everybody think he was the one person that had to get beat?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, like I said, the only issue I ever had with him was not issue, but was just afraid of him burning out. He was just such a machine, even at that age. It was awesome to watch. I mean, he'd come out and he'd be 12, 13 years old and come and playing, beating 16, 17-year-olds, playing from their tees as a 13-year-old and winning. I mean, it was almost just unfair.
All right. I mentioned you're on week 7 now. You're going to play in Columbus. When is the next break for Jason Gore?
I don't know. I'll probably play Columbus and Omaha. And then I think I'm going to go home. Even if the family stays out here, I'm just going home.
All right, Jason, thank you very much. Appreciate you for being here today.